I just like being an anime character. Okay, Ed, you got it out of me. God dang it. Like, your LA Noire skills are paying off. I just like to be an anime character.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hi.
Hi. Hello. Well,
Val, how you doing?
how are you doing, Enrico? I'm doing so well.
Good. I'm a little winded right now because I was running back from
Can't believe
the
Enrico
laundromat.
can run. The Enrico Zenitani. How do I say your last name?
Wait, have you never said my last name?
Never
I feel
said
like you
it.
said
I've
it on
never
stream.
said. You say it on stream all the time, and I just sit there and I hear it every time, and I'm like,
To be fair, I don't actually know. You say it all the time too. I don't know how to say your full username. I say Valravn. That's not right?
No. It is Valravn.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've heard that like literally probably like 3 times before in my head, and I probably like made that decision in my head, and I still say fucking Valravn. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you got to be a little specific. Oh wait, I forgot to turn off my fan. It's probably picking it up.
It's all good.
Sorry. All right.
So welcome, I guess, just as like a little thing, like first and foremost, like why don't you introduce yourself to the fine folks at home?
The fine folks at home, welcome everybody. Hello, my name is Valravn Vong. I'm the head host at Club Holler. I am the only host, but don't let that detract from me being the best host at Club Holler. You know, little name drop there. Stop on by, come to the bar, have a drink. Maybe you'll get a special insult, you know, if you pay me a little bit of a tip. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know, if you just give me some money, maybe I'll insult you.
So go on and do that, everybody. Me and you, like, how the hell did we actually meet? Because I genuinely do not remember. I kind of feel like we just kind of like crossed paths one day, and then we just started going to each other's streams.
It's like the fate of the universe, you know? Like, it kind of just, like, made circumstances to make it happen. In actuality, we both know Disembodied Voices, who is my Oshi.
Oh, okay.
I actually found you through Disembodied Voices. They were telling me about you one day, and they had such high regard for you, and I was just like,
Yeah.
well, I have to check out this person. Well, I have to see who this is. So I went and I saw, and then
you regretted it?
No, I have not regretted any experience I have had. I have thoroughly enjoyed every stream that I've stepped into. I have to leave a lot because, unfortunately, you know, I have school and work, and like the club, it never sleeps, you know.
I got you.
So that's how I discovered you. I don't know when you discovered me. I don't know when it went the other way.
It was probably from Voices. Yeah, it was just by going to their streams. Back like a year ago, I had a lot more free time in my hands, so I wasn't I was actually chatting in a lot of people's streams, and yeah, I remember Voices was like one of the few people that I was actually able to catch their stream fully because they stream at a somewhat reasonable hour for me.
First thing in the morning. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. There are so many people that I want to support, and I just don't have the time for it because of work and all that stuff. But anyway, there are like a bunch of questions that I want to like ask outright, but like I want to let the conversation flow a little more naturally based on like what we actually decide to talk about.
So it sounds like a podcast and not like me being like, oh, all right.
Yeah, not like you just being like straight up interviewed.
Stop interrogating me, please. I just want to have a good time. I can't believe N is going all LA Noire on me. I didn't ask for this. The game's been getting to your head.
Oh, have you played that game before, by the way?
No, I watched. Do you remember Tobuscus? Long time ago. Yes, I used to watch him play it like constantly. I was like a fiend. I would like rush home from school and I'd be like, Tobuscus added a new upload. I saw it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was a freak. Okay, I'll just even admit it.
Like what kind of like content do you consume nowadays? Since you brought up Tobuscus.
AMVs.
Okay. Why do you say that with like a hint of shame or something?
A hint of shame, you know. I think AMVs are a little, as much as I love them, they can be a little cringy sometimes, but I love them. I do watch a lot of AMVs. It's hard for me to watch streamers because some of them stream for so long and I just have to run and go do something. Right. How did I even get into like the descent that was like VTubing? I don't even know. It's like one day I watched like a Neanners clip and I was like, what? That shit's bussin'. Oh my god. What do you mean? She just pretends to be an anime character? Oh my god. And that's where it started. And now I think because of like the nature of the hobby that I have now, it's kind of time consuming. I watch a lot of VTubers and streaming. But if I were to actually sit down and like a content that I like to dive into and actually really watch, I watch college lectures like a old boring person.
Wait, seriously? No fooling?
No fooling. I actually finished not too long ago a whole series on like Viking burial rituals and like Viking conception of like the soul. Yeah, just to be, you know, just to sit there and be like, yeah, I want to learn something. I'm bored.
Wait, like college lectures, as in like those free lectures that sometimes universities upload to YouTube and stuff?
Yeah, so it was by Cornell. Cornell had a little series by a guy that is very well versed in like Viking culture, as well versed as you can be, because it's, you know, a lot of it is lost to time.
Right.
And he did a little presentation, like they're like over an hour long, so you kind of have to sit there and be like, okay, but yeah, I sit there, I listen, I take notes. It's like I never left school.
You sit there and take notes while you're watching something for fun?
Yeah, because it's fun to me. I like to learn, so learning is, I'm kind of a nerd.
That's,
you know,
fucking badass. Oh my god. With those notes, do you ever like produce something based on the notes that you made? Do you ever like feel inspired to make like video essays or anything like that?
No, I'm not articulate enough, I don't think so, to really make something like that. But
Wait, what?
No. I don't think I am. It's a little complicated to be a teacher, don't you think?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, like, not articulate enough. Wait, what are you talking about? What do you mean by that?
So when I watch a lot of these like presentations, they're well spoken. I stutter and I make ums a lot, but these people, they present themselves very well and very like informed. And I only know what I know, but these people have learned for years and years and years. A lot of them have like long degrees, and I'm just here like, yeah, I watched your YouTube video.
Also, that's fucking cool. I'd never met anybody who felt so inspired from watching something just for fun on YouTube, college lectures for that matter, that they felt the need to like take notes on that stuff. That's honestly like so, I don't know why, that's like really admirable to me.
It's called being a dweeb. But I do that because I like to, I guess I keep like records of stuff, and I like to have conversations with like people about these things because I find them very fascinating. Sometimes I talk to people and they're like, why did you read all that? And I'm just like, I don't know, like I like to know what people were up to like 2,000 years ago. It interests me. It's like they were living a day-to-day that's so far detached from anything we can even conceptualize today. So I sit there and I'm like, oh my god, they didn't talk to trees, that was a law.
Let me ask you something weird. Like, how often do you bring this up in conversation? How often can you actually like sustain a conversation with the people you bring it up with?
With this, it's kind of limited. I don't have, okay, a little bit personal, but like I don't have a ton of friends. I'm very nervous as a person, which seems very weird, right? Like I'm a host, I should be good at this, I should be totally socializing with everybody, but I actually am pretty reserved and I keep to myself. But sometimes here and there, like I'll be in a Discord call and I'll be like, hey, you guys want to hear about this one thing that I heard on the internet? And surprisingly enough, my VTuber friends are the ones that indulge me the most.
Oh.
They're the ones who are just like, yeah, I like to hear it, go ahead, tell me. And I'm like, yeah, thank you.
That's so sweet. Oh my god. On the subject of like VTubing though, like, well, let's go back to what we were talking about before. Like how, like, I mean, it's one thing to like see a VTuber and think it's cool and everything. It's another to like go out of your way to make like to dive into streaming, I feel. So like what brought that on? Like what was it like in the very beginning for you?
In the very beginning,
when did you start, by the way?
About a little bit, a year and a half ago.
Oh wow, okay.
Almost. Yeah, I think I started in like February, so it's been a while, and I'm amazed at where I've even gotten, to be honest with you, because if you had met me when I initially started, very much like how I am, I was very nervous, very like reserved, very like I don't feel like I can fit in. But what the final like push was a long time ago. I watched, if you know who Koopa Fortuna is.
Oh yeah.
I watched her debut and I sat there, and I'd been thinking about being a VTuber for like a year before that point, right? It's been I thought about it for a long time, but I just didn't give myself the push. But when I watched Koopa, and I was like, you know what? She seems so down to earth and like not untouchable. Does that make sense? Like Vebe and Neanders. These are huge people who are like, well, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But Koopa was just like, that's like a like kind of like your average person that I can connect to on some level. It might have been a little parasocial
right.
In a way, but I never reached out to like interact with Koopa when I was just a viewer. And that was kind of like the final push to be like, oh, like maybe I could look into this and actually do it and like sit down and do it. And then I did some scouring. I found like an artist that I was like, well, this is the theme that I kind of want. And they were totally down for it because at the time, not many people, you know, VTubers were getting popular, but they weren't like that big.
Right.
And then the concept of being like, I want to be like a handsome anime girl, not like a cutesy anime girl. Not a lot of people want to draw that. So it was a little bit difficult getting the artist, but that was like kind of like the final push. And now I'm like, an entirely different space than even when I started.
How so?
So I was very quiet and soft-spoken and very like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to bumble around, do whatever. But now I've kind of cultivated myself to be more interactive and like to actually like, I've learned to handle dead air and like talk.
Yeah.
You know, like fill space when nobody's there. Whereas before I was that person who was just sitting there and like, I'm playing Genshin. Enjoy.
I get you. How did you do that, by the way? Like, how did you learn to fill that dead air?
So initially, what a little bit got me like a little bit of a push was my friend who also was into VTubing, like did like a little few collabs with me and I guess helped me break a little some of my nervousness. And then I started really getting into like the indie scene and watching other VTubers that weren't like big Hololive or corporations, and that was like finally like I was just like, oh, I think I'm going about this wrong. Had like a little bit of awakening and I was like, oh, now I really got to practice. So I started, unfortunately, bumbling to myself a little bit, but...
Why is that unfortunate? I mean, just like talking to yourself?
Talking to myself, yeah, because sometimes...
That's a precious skill, I feel, as a streamer. I feel like I kind of lucked out in being able to fill the dead air myself, because like in real life, I'm a, tit for tat. Since you're being personal, like, I'll be personal too. Like, I'm a very lonely dude in real life. I don't talk to a lot of people in real life, like, at all. And so, like, I oftentimes just have like, also, I live in an apartment by myself. I oftentimes have, like, or like, even before, when I had a roommate, I was still talking to myself. I was doing this too, where I was just, like, talking to myself. I was having conversations with myself. I mean, part of that too is, like, for me, like based on like my background as like a writer too, where I try to like think of like different scenarios and conversations in my head and stuff like that. But like I'm always trying to like I always like have these like fantastical scenarios in my head of someone asking me something, and then I've like everything kind of like devolves from there. And I say devolves intentionally because I always try to like make it like humorous in the end. But like I don't think that's I forgot I ramble for so long. I forgot the word that you just used to describe that. But I mean like I don't really think that's a bad thing.
No, it's not. And if you think about it, it's what you do in your head constantly. It's what you literally just talked about. It's what you do constantly. But I too have to do the same thing where it's like I have to make it kind of humorous.
Yeah.
Because in a way it's like a deflection and I have to be like, haha. Laugh. I've learned to like appreciate some of my qualities, I guess, where I can relate where you're talking to, where it's like I just feel like I'm pretty like alone and not much going on, and then I sit there, and if I really want to think about it, there are things about me that are pretty entertaining. Like I can make a joke.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty good at holding conversations with people. It's just putting it out there for the world to see on the internet. Oh my God, who would have thought?
It's kind of like an inverse problem with me, where in real life, I don't think I'm funny at all. Like, if you met me as a person in real life, I don't think I'm not saying that as a put down, because there's gonna be a resolution to this. I don't think I'm all that entertaining in person in real life, but I think like the interplay between me and a Twitch stream brings out something in me, and that's like a very specific, finite thing that I could only channel in that one instance. I would say like I forgot where I was going with this. I'm having a brain.
We gotta get you to take notes. You gotta take the lesson from the Val playbook. Take notes.
I usually pull out my notepad. I forgot because we were talking so freely. I forgot to pull out my notepad, but I have it open now. But what I'm basically saying is like it's a thing that you could practice at, really, the more you do it. And I really want to like stress that, because I see all the time, and we actually talked about this in the episode that came out today with my friend Tayo, where like he does a lot of like just chatting streams, and he sees all the time on his Twitter timeline people like VTubers saying like, how do people sustain just chatting streams? Like, what do you guys talk about? I feel so boring when I'm doing just chatting. You really can like practice at that stuff, and it's not something that came easy to me the first time I started streaming, because people only see me for who I am now, like the loud shouty guy.
The loud shouty guy.
That is legit like how people see me, like, and like it has its like drawbacks, because people only see me as that, because that's like the first impression I make on them. That's a point in and of itself. That's like a persona that I cultivated on stream, because you and I are talking right now. I'm not being like loud and shouty right now, and you know that about me. So it's like being able to channel certain energies in a specific way, not to sound overly abstract when I say that shit.
No, I don't think that's necessarily abstract. You know, what you're talking about, when you show like your old streams, I see exactly what you're talking about, where it's like a skill that you've definitely come to cultivate and you've learned to grow in. Yeah. And I think with anything, most things are a skill that you can learn. I don't think there's I think there is a thing as like a talent, but if you do not put like any introspection or any work into it, you will not cultivate that talent, and it will just slip and become nothing.
Definitely.
So I think it's easy for, like you said, a lot of people see streamers for where they are currently, like you, but they don't see that that person has been cultivating it for a year or 2 years or 10 years.
Very long time. Yeah. And it doesn't come naturally to me at all. Like I said, I'm a very quiet, lonely dude. Like, I don't need much to thrive socially in my real life. Like, I actually like being alone for the most part.
I'm laughing, but I get it.
It's like I don't, like, seriously, I could just be home with my books and like I'm set. Like, that's what I was doing before the pandemic hit, or like before I became a VTuber during the pandemic. I was just in my room either playing video games or just reading books, and then like I go to sleep and then I wake up and do the same thing over and over again. And it's just like I was satisfied with that. But anyway, sorry, I'm talking too much about myself.
No, you're not talking too much about yourself. You're allowed to. This is a good space. We're cultivating ideas. We're exchanging. It's okay. Don't worry.
No, I try to put this, but because, like, speaking very bluntly, each of these podcasts is meant to be like a big plug for whoever shows up on like these podcasts. I want to be like, hey, everybody in my community, go check out this person because I think they're cool.
Oh, and you've spoiled me enough. You don't have to. Come on.
No, that's not true. I do literally nothing. I wish I could do more, honestly.
No, you are a nice person and a kind friend. There, take that.
No.
Even
no,
if
I'll take that second part, but not the first.
All right,
no.
fine. I'm not gonna force it on you, but I'm just gonna say that, like, I know you're very busy. But I have, the few times that I've interacted with you, you've been very pleasant, and I appreciate it. Because a lot of people are not pleasant.
Do tell. Actually, no.
Spill. I'm just talking, like, in general. I grew up, and I think you get it, but I grew up in an area that is known for being very cold. You do not make eye contact with strangers. They will tell you to fuck off. So, like,
I get you.
Yeah, it's one of those places.
Speaking of you as a person, like you said, so you went through that journey of like realizing you wanted to dive into VTubing, and then you came up with this character, this, like, handsome anime girl character.
Yes.
Give me the rundown of your lore again. What there's like a mythological component to your lore, isn't there?
So a Valravn in, like, Danish and Scandinavian folklore is a raven that has actually eaten the body of a dead soldier, and it grants them some point of, like, human capabilities, and they're actually known to be shape-shifting. In most folklore, they're very mischievous, and they are, like, they give off this perception of the mastery of illusion, because they can camouflage themselves, they can shape-shift. In reality, what they look like is like a human werewolf bird thing. That's the best way to describe it. And if in exchange, so Valravn can offer, like, there's a poem about it, they offer an exchange to this lady. They're like, if you give me the heart of your firstborn child, I can become like a knight and I'll repay you. And there's two different versions. There's one version where she gets her child back, and there's another version where I don't think she gets the child back, and then the Valravn becomes a knight, and it's like, oh, happily ever after.
Right.
Which I don't understand the moral of that is, but that's what a Valravn is, and that's like the inception of our... I know I went a little bit off the deep end with that one.
No, that's super cool. Like, okay, so let me ask a very leading question. Like, what kind of connection do you have with that story? Like, why that story above all others for your VTuber character?
So a little bit of it is like a part of like a historical family thing. Some of my family is like Scandinavian, so I take a little bit of interest in like the history of some of the, I guess, like the forefathers, whatever you want to call it, I don't even know, ancestors, some interest in ancestry, and something about the concept of being rebirthed in a way is something that like strikes a chord with me, maybe because I believe in the concept of being like kind of like in a way of like restorative, like it can be restored. So something about that poem resonates with me. And I like just the name Valravn. I find it interesting. I find the concept cool. And the rest of the story of the character of Valravn is that, so she was initially, she was a Valravn. She obtained the ability to be a knight, and she's lived throughout, a little bit of history going around looking at people. And in modern days, she was just fascinated by the concept of some people are just so handsome that they make money. Some people are so handsome that they make money and they drink with other people, and the fault was Orin High School Host Club. That was the descent, and she was like, yo, what the heck? That's brilliant. It's like just what my forefathers would have wanted. Me to drink, get drunk, be with women, and get paid.
Oh, yeah.
I made a little joke about it in the end, because you're sitting there and you're like, you ate a child? It's like, yeah, but in the end, I just drink all day, so.
Wow, you really thought it out. That's honestly really cool. So, so you've always been a big anime nerd?
Unfortunately. Oh my god, yeah. I remember watching Tokyo Mew Mew when I was like, I don't know, a little kid. All right, breaking kayfabe a little bit. Sorry, guys. Yeah, when I was like a little kid, I watched Tokyo Mew Mew. I'm not thousands of years old.
Wait, what?
Or am I? Maybe I am.
I feel like you bring up Tokyo Mew Mew like every so often. Like I've heard you bring it up twice on stream so far.
Uh-oh.
I'm not saying that as a call out. I'm just saying like clearly that was like a defining moment for you to bring it up that much. Like I don't know anything about Tokyo Mew Mew. Is it still like an anime that you have like a connection with?
Well, it's getting remade. Ta-da!
Oh, is it?
Next season. All right, and we can watch it. It's perfect. This is perfect, and it's just in time. I don't know why I remember it so fondly, but actually the weirdest thing, and maybe this is actually a good thing, I remember my father like bringing me home from like a soccer game, and he was just sitting and watching it with me one time, and I think that's why it's stuck in my head.
Oh, I see.
Me and my dad sitting there watching cartoons, and my dad was like, "I don't understand this, kid." So I think that's why it's like in my head.
I get you. So you came up with this character, you started streaming, you said in the beginning you were very reserved.
Yes.
But like, I mean, you definitely have like a community and some like friends of yours that you consistently associate with and stuff. What was that like, getting into the community and meeting people?
Nerve-wracking. I'm a very scared person. I actually initially was like petrified to talk to anybody. But then like, one day I finally was like, Val, stop being a coward. Just like reply to this person's tweet. Be friendly. Stop being so like mean all your life. Just be nice. Oddly enough, it opened the door to like other people then being like, oh, you're friends with so-and-so. And initially I hung out with, you know, a little bit different people, and they're not bad people, and I liked them, but maybe the vibe was just a little bit uncomfortable for me because I'm a little bit more of like older. That's the nicest way of putting it. I'm a little bit older, and through like meeting through the grapevines, I met people like Glooby, or I met people like Disem, or people like Valis, who are people that like I may not do a lot of collabs with, but they're people that I hang out with like a lot off stream.
Right.
And I feel like they're people who have like a similar like kind of calm, chilled out, older. I say older. We're all old.
You hear that, everybody? Val's calling you old.
I'm calling you all old. You're all old. Take it. Yeah. But that's now I feel like I'm really actually kind of a part of something.
Right.
And it's odd thinking that I have, and I still say this, but I'm really deeply appreciative to like the community I have. I find it so odd that I even have fans. But there are people who show up every stream, and I'm always very happy to see them. I'm like, damn, you guys are here again. Thank you. And some people are just so nice to me, and I'm just like, well, thanks. I need to learn to like take it, but I sit there and I'm like, I don't feel like I deserve it, but they think I deserve it in a way.
Okay, I'm gonna put you on the spot, Val,
Yeah.
and say that you should learn to accept it, because yeah, like I enjoy your streams. I enjoy the stuff that you
thanks,
do. Like
man.
Seriously, like I'm like I know I'm saying this stuff and it's not gonna like sink in or anything, but like I can tell like you're one to shy away from compliments and stuff and really like not be able to internalize people saying nice things about you. So seriously, everyone, be sure to be more outspoken with your compliments to Val.
No, don't
so
do that.
She finally fucking gets it. For the love of God, like seriously, let it get through to her that she's awesome. Anyway, it's just okay. This is the not the counselor in me, but like the VTuber life coach in me, where I see so many
VTuber
people.
life advice. I'm ready. My notepad is open. Let's go.
I see so many people like unnecessarily beating themselves up when like a very objective appraisal for me. I'm not just saying this to people to butter them up, because if I didn't like somebody, I wouldn't be like giving them my attention or anything like that. But like seriously, like I see people so often beating themselves up for literally no goddamn reason, and I can tell it's like something outside of like probably something a little more personal rather than something that's like them actually giving a fair evaluation of themselves. So like I don't know, like again, I'm putting you on the spot intentionally because I want you to know that I think you're a cool person. Like I notice that a lot in you, and I don't want you to feel that way. And I'm not here to like fix you or anything. I'm not saying I'm like here to fix you. I'm just saying like
I can fix her, chat. I can fix her. I swear. She's not evil. I'm sorry. I have to make it. I get it. I know. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I know. I appreciate you trying to like deflate the over sincerity that I'm like flooding you with right now. But seriously, it's just it breaks my heart sometimes. It's not just you. I'm talking about like people in general that I notice where like I like their stuff and then I find out they have such like a low opinion of themselves, and I'm like, what? You're cool as hell. Like what the hell happened to you to make you think that way. And I want to shake you out of this stupid mindset that you have.
I want to free you.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. But anyway, sorry, that's my little...
No, I will take the TED Talk, and I will challenge myself.
Good.
Not even as a humor thing. I will challenge myself. It's time. This is the summer of Val.
I'm glad. I still want to stay on this period of like you starting out though. When you were starting out, like what was your like mode as far as like what like you wanted to do in terms of streaming?
Oh my god, I thought I was gonna be so suave. I thought I was gonna be like a really suave person, and then I sat back and I was like, what are you talking about? Have you heard yourself talk in the past year? The most you say is hello to your mom. Like, it's not happening. So then I tried, and then I was just like, I should probably, like, I don't know, not lean into that. And I kind of glad I didn't, because I feel like that would have put a lot of pressure. But originally I thought I was going to be way more, like, host-like and into it. I kind of still am into that, but I feel like I fit the more bartender aesthetic, and I think that was the way better approach to take it. But originally...
Wait, explain to me the distinction there, just so I'm clear on that.
I feel like a host is someone that is more involved in, like, the socially flirting aspect of things, and that's kind of what they do, because they're trying to, you know, kind of get your money out of you.
Right.
And a host is someone who's more, like, an interactive based, whereas a bartender is literally just someone that, like, pours your drinks, but then also gives you the worst life advice you've ever had. So, you know, that's kind of where I was with that. That's where I think I was.
I get you. What made that switch in your mind happen?
Well, I can't flirt with people, so that was literally what it was. I literally cannot do it. I have, like, this whole thing where I was just like, no. I cannot do, like, even pretend. I can't do that whole GFE, BFE experience. Cannot. It was, like, so, like, it just, like, broke my brain.
Is that to say that you attempted that early on?
I think I did a little bit, yes.
Okay, wow.
I think like really early on, I think I did try a little bit to be more like the suave host aesthetic, and then I was like, ugh. And now I feel like I have a bit more creativity to be a little bit fun. I still keep the host aesthetic, but instead I want to take to the avenue of, like, you ever been to those restaurants where you pay, the people insult you?
I've heard of those.
That's where I'm taking it. I will be the asshole host.
Okay.
Excuse my language. I don't know. Am I allowed to swear?
You're allowed to swear.
Asked.
People always ask me if they're allowed to swear on my podcast. Like, yeah, who do you think you're talking to? I swear like every I'm from New York. I swear every like 5 seconds in every single sentence I say.
But it's a podcast, and there's etiquette.
No, you're allowed to swear. I don't
thank
care.
God. Fuck off. That's my swear. All right, we're good. Anyway, yeah, so that's what I decided against it, because I was like, yo, this is terrible.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I get you. Okay,
Damn, I know.
I will say, and this is a topic that I touched on with Voices when they were on the podcast, like 2 months ago now. I can't believe it's been that long.
Time.
It's fucking crazy. I touched on this briefly. We didn't really talk about it at length, but I'm not saying this in a judgmental way, but like there are VTubers who like play more into the kayfabe, as you brought up before, and there are VTubers who just use the VTuber avatar as more of like a medium. I mean, you generally kind of answered this with what we've been talking about, but like which are you more of? Would you say?
I feel like I lean a little bit more into the kayfabe thing, a little bit more, but I think my humor, like my own personal sense of humor, obviously kind of commandeers and takes a lot of it.
Right.
But in real life, I'm actually pretty reserved in terms of like what I say, what kind of jokes I make. Like even laughing, I like on stream sometimes like I have a really good hearty laugh. In real life, someone makes a joke at me, hell no, I ain't doing that.
I'm the same way.
Yeah. And I feel like in a sense it allows like some of my personality, like my personality to come out, but also like it's not me. At the end of the day, Valravn is not me.
Right.
So I see it as a detachment. It's a character, but I will not roleplay it in Discord servers. So like if you come into a Discord call with me, you're gonna get the real experience. And you're gonna get the real experience. And the real experience is like, hey, did you know that in this day in history the Romans did this? Like, you're not gonna like it. You might. I'm kidding, but
you know, I'm curious because like I hear that often from people saying who are VTubers who say that they get in a voice call and people expect them to roleplay their character or something. I'm like, I've never encountered that like at all. Like even from friends that I know. Like, does that happen to you a lot?
Not nearly so much. I don't think really anymore, but I think I can remember a little bit early on when I would join voice calls and people were like, oh, you're a little different. And I was like, oh, yeah, you know. I have, it's just how it be. But I don't account it very often. Most people don't expect that. I think it's more like some people are very, very strict about kayfabe. And I think I was around them a little bit early on. Nowadays, I don't see it so much. And nowadays, there's such a huge mixture of people in the VTuber community that have kayfabe or people that is just like an embodiment of themselves.
Right.
This has stopped really being like a thing. I don't know if maybe some other newer people still have it, but...
I tend to find that people who on stream play more into their character tend to hang out mostly with other people who play more into their character, whereas like someone like me, and again, not judgmental or anything, because like I'm always welcome, I'm always open to making new friends and stuff. I don't want to make this sound like, oh, I have my friends and like I don't want any more new friends or anything like that.
I can't believe it. Enrico, let me in the circle.
No, but it's like I've always just kind of like, I mean, like in the very beginning, maybe for like a day or two, I thought I would be a character, like, and like when I'm like really pissed off, I do sound like a very, very typical New Yorker.
Uh-oh.
I'm not contriving it or anything either. Like I do sound like an actual typical New Yorker when I'm really pissed off. Like
what's the line that you guys always say? I'm walking here. I'm walking here.
Which I said this on stream. Like I shared this anecdote on stream. I actually did say that offhand without thinking one time. Like I actually shouted that like fucking Dustin Hoffman in Midnight Cowboy. Like I was jaywalking in California, and then like I very stupidly didn't see a cyclist, and he almost like hit me, and I was like, hey, I'm walking, and then like my friends from California, my local friends from California, were behind me, and they heard that. They were like, what did you just fucking say? Like, you want to say that again? They were just like teasing me for the rest of the day for saying that.
It's a valid statement. I'm walking here. Get out of my way.
No, but yeah, I thought like because like I'm self-aware of certain moments where I did that, I thought I'd play more of a character in the beginning myself, but it turns out like I wasn't super comfortable doing that because I don't know, it's like a lot of mental energy for me to do that kind of thing. So I just end up being myself for the most part, but with a Enrico mask and everything.
The Enrico mask. Put it on like Majora's Mask.
I think like there's, at least for me, it could just be me being like super self-conscious and super shy or whatever the fuck, but like when I notice another VTuber is more into playing into the kayfabe rather than like using it as an avatar, again, not that there's anything wrong with that, like I am a little hesitant to kind of like interact with them because like I worry that they don't see me as a real VTuber, quote unquote, for not playing into the kayfabe.
Oh, I see.
If that makes any sense.
No, I get it.
And because of that, I'm like a little hesitant to actually like want to talk to them and get to know them and stuff, because I'm worried that they're thinking that like, oh, this person isn't a real VTuber. They're trying to like slowly chip away at like me playing a character.
They want to take away my mask.
Yeah, pretty much. So like that's an unfounded fear,
I think
right?
I think a little bit, and just like a smidgen.
It's based on nothing. Like literally, it's based on nothing. It's based on me being overly self-conscious. I haven't had any interactions with like so-called like real VTubers who insulted me for not playing into whatever the fuck. But I do kind of worry just because like VTubing culture is its own thing.
It's true.
That like certain people don't see me a certain way.
I get that. And sometimes VTubing culture can be a little bit, I feel like, strict with the definitions of being a VTuber.
Yeah.
But I think most everybody can agree that if you use some type of persona, like a face of a persona, because like, you can't just like act different, like you can't just be a meat space tuber. God, I unironically use that. And then play a character and be like, I'm a VTuber. It has to have like that virtual part. But yeah, I get that feeling. And to be funny with you, like I kind of sometimes get a little bit of the opposite feeling, but I never think that the person's gonna think I'm not a real VTuber or anything. I more or less think like this person's gonna think I'm a little, like they kind of be themselves and I'm playing a character and they're like, they probably think I roleplay.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, they probably think I like roleplay or something, and it's just like, I'm no, not anything like that.
That's cool. Yeah, I never considered like what the other person who might be like insecure in their own specific way, like me, would be thinking on the opposite end.
But I mean, like, it's an irrational thought, right? Because like,
yeah.
Why would anyone care even if I did roleplay? Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Why would any reasonable person give a shit? Like either way.
You roleplay? Good lord, that's cringe. Okay, yeah. It's my life. Get with the times.
So like I gotta ask specifics here, since you and I met through Voices.
Good old Voices.
90% sure that happened. How'd you meet?
How'd I meet Voices? The thing is, I don't even remember. It's been so long, but it must have been through my friend Glooby and like Orange and Valis and them. It must have been through them that I met voices, and like they raided into them one day, and I don't know, I just really like something about Voices' like presentation. The fact that they're just like a blob cat, that's genius. I think that's genius. That's like brilliant. And like every time I go to a Voices stream, I'm like, yep, I'm chill. I have my coffee. Oh, I gotta go to work. All right, bye, Voices. Like, it's just like a really chill thing. But I wish I could remember how he met, but I really do think it was one of my friends must have raided into them, and that's how I found them. And I just stayed. I never left.
So you've been doing this for like a year and a half now. Like, what do you think? Just a journal question.
Oh, I think. I actually really enjoy VTubing. I feel like it's given me an outlet to be social and to be something that I just never would have done for myself. I feel like I've always been a behind the scenes kind of person. I've done content creation before.
Oh, really?
Well, it's not really content creation. Maybe. I mean, AMVs kind of count, but I did that for a very long time, and that's a very behind the scenes thing, right? Because it's just me presenting my video idea to people. I did some video editing, like text editing, and that was my one experience. And I liked it. I had a really good time with it, but as I got older, you know, the community kind of splintered. And then I saw VTubing, and I remember I sat down and watched a Silver Veil stream like 2 years ago, a little bit more than that now. And I was like, one, it's adorable. And then two, I was like, she looks like she's just having a great time. And it opens up an area for you to be something that you never really, I feel like you can't really have in person. And I'm allowed to present something that it's kind of like me, but it's not.
Right.
And it gives me some freedom. And I've really liked VTubing. I've loved it, actually, and I don't think I could give it up anytime soon. I don't even care if if I fade into obscurity, whatever, I'm fine with that. Like, I just like to be Val. I just like that.
Personally speaking, I will not let that happen, by the way.
But I mean, like, sometimes, you know, like, life gets in the way,
right,
you know?
Right.
But this is more like what I mean. But, like, I wouldn't even care. Like, really, I wouldn't. I would be perfectly happy because I just like I said, I just even like the interaction with, like, this sounds so silly. I just like being an anime character. Okay, Ed, you got it out of me. God dang it. Like, your LA Noire skills are paying off. I just like to be an anime character. That is, like, my bare bones, like, I love it. I love it. And I know that's kind of, like, selfish, but...
I got a weird question. Like, has anything about your personality in real life changed based on your experience with VTubing? Because I asked Voices this, and they said that, like, people in their life have been noting that they seem a little happier. Has anything happened with you?
No one's made like a comment like that. But I will say among myself, I feel like I've become more assertive to my own happiness. I feel like a lot of the times I put a lot of people above me. And in my life, personally, I won't go like wicked super into details, but I do put someone else's happiness well above my own. And I sat there and I was like, but I'm not happy.
Right.
I'm just miserable. And then I finally got an outlet to do something, and now like I feel better. I'm working out again. I'm like doing things. I like have energy, and I feel like I see the change in myself, me personally, and I feel like I have a much better handle on things. But other people haven't come up to me and been like, "Wow, Val, wow, you're just so much happier."
Just to kind of wrap things up, like since we're getting close to the hour, like if there's anything you want to impart to everybody, what is it?
My only really thing is that, you know what, there is nothing quite like coming home and having a cold glass of wine. That's my little bit of wisdom to some people. It doesn't have to be wine. If you like Pepsi, drink Pepsi. I don't know. If you like a blunt, smoke a blunt. I don't know. But it's really good, literally, to come home. Do not get mad about work. Do not get mad about whatever was going on in the day. Do something relaxing first and have a good energy and then be done. That's my impartial wisdom. If anybody does not do that already.
Oh my god, that came from a very deep place, I feel.
I was sitting on it, and I was sitting on it. Waiting, like, oh yes, good, finally.
Finally, you plug yourself. Where can we find you, Val?
You can find me at Twitch, Valravn_CH. That's about it.
Links will be down below. And now we need a quirky way to end this.
Well, sayonara from the Club Holler Host Club. Have a good day, y'all.
Holy shit, that was so good.
Thank you.
Damn, you could just pull that out of nowhere.
It just cut, I've been sitting on it. It's like an egg waiting to hatch.
Holy hell, everyone please go follow Val, by the way. Okay, bye everybody.
Goodbye, sayonara.